way it happened in Guide, which was first made in English and then subsequently. So how does this work? I mean, it sounds very mind-boggling to me that you do a scene with certain set of actors in Hindi and then you go and do that same scene in Tamil.
No, it's
How does it
actually
work?
maybe a bit of more than I can chew. You know, what happens is it's actually Merry Christmas is a I'm not plugging the movie here, it's still being made, but it's a one night story and it needs the story required me to have a very, a fresh, very unusual pairing. It should not be people who have seen together, you know. And I had seen a few Vijay Sethupathi films, you know, the film called 96 and there's Vikram Vedanu, of course. And I said, why not this guy? You know, and Katrina had spoken to us and she wanted to work in break her own image, whatever kind of a thing, you know. So I was telling my DOP now, what if this kind of a combination? So the main thing is it makes people curious. What is?
So I watched Andhadhun quite a while ago, and I wanted to ask whether while writing the story, did you develop the ending or you had an end in mind to keep it that ambiguity, whether it's her eyes or whether it's someone else's, or how did he end up not being blind and that?
But I'll answer this too open, so let me try. No, actually we had a broad thought that the end, when you're writing a movie, you should get a sense of the end, otherwise you can't write properly, you know. So we knew it should, my thing was actually should end ambiguously, but I had no idea how it is going to arrive there. So that was the process of trial and error, till almost the last week of shooting we were trying to do things, and eventually it even though it worked out, but I was prepared for people saying, "Samajh mein nahi aaya," you know, okay. So I was prepared for that, but luckily we got to it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Who else now?
I am coming from Aurangabad, MGM Film School. Sir, today is the last day of this broadcast. So, from morning to till this time, I only watch technical things about cameras and all that they have, and technical all things. But when I watch you in front of my eyes, you are the first person in film industry that personally I watch very closely.
Thank you, sir.
You have a question? Thank you very much for saying that. I am very amazed at, so this is what happens. If Dharamji is saying Vikram Singh in Jeevan Mrityu, you remember it. That's amazing that you have seen Jeevan Mrityu and you remember what is Dharamji is being called in that scene. That's what I meant by, saying you've seen so many films and you remember so many films.
Now, actually the thing is now the films you see in a certain age, now they become very tattooed in your head, you know. Later on, nowadays I watch too many films, but I won't remember day by day what did I see, it's like that. So that happens, unless it's a fantastic film, in which case of course you'll remember. But so much we see and all got into the habit of, okay, let's check this out, at home you can check it out, so that's the trouble. Whereas the hall is an investment.
Yeah, that's true. Is there anybody else from FTI here?
I have a question, Pankaj.
Sorry,
Manoj here.
who's that?
This side.
Okay. Yeah, Manoj.
Yeah.
So, you have been doing script writing for web series as well as feature films. Now, web series is episodic in nature, and feature films is like a 3-hour movie. So, how different is your approach when you write for OTT web series and for a feature film?
For web series, I have not yet got into that zone, but I have a lot of friends who are writing web series, but I have not written, and I think it's one of my favorite series is Breaking Bad, and that is like a film every episode. I used to tell people that you just study this series and that's like institute by itself, because it's got so many kinds of cinematic technique and all that. But I have not written any web series, but I know for some people it will be like making, I was just talking to a director at Labor yesterday. So he said, don't get into web series, it's like making 3 films at one time, so that.
Because in the morning, Pankaj had a very interesting session on In Search of a Perfect Script. So, is there any basic ground rule that defines a good script?
Of course, I don't know whether there's any particular, because every script will be different, but my technique is what I do, when it's right from the story, when it's in, fairly in shape, I have a few people who I narrate it to and see how it. So it's like an evolving process, So by the time my script is ready to shoot, enough people have told me what is not working, what is working, and
it is not working, you change it even before you. So I'm very kind of, sometimes my co-writers don't like it. They give the script to somebody, they tell me what is wrong with it, what is not working. So we keep trying to better it on paper itself. So little time consume is very useful. Most time what I feel what happens in Bombay industry is people believe in that bound script kind of thing. Of course, you should have a bound script, of course, but what I mean is like the script is written, it's bound, it's like almost now production starts, prep starts, everything starts, and that's exactly what you shoot. Whereas in 6-8 months after you wrote the script, so many things would have changed within yourself, within the script which you made. So I feel it's always good to keep it a little, keep that little window of something may change, something may be dropped, something within the same story, of course. So I don't really bind this script.
Thank you.
So my name is Jamshid. I am from Kerala. We have seen a lot of technology transformation in the post-production area in the equipment things. But how is the pre-production and production planning thing is going to help with the technology? How is technology is going to affect in the pre-production or while the scripting stage or the scheduling stage, coming to the shooting schedules and everything? How is technology is going to help?
I don't know how technology will help in the scripting and in that stage, simply because a lot of that is you sitting with your computer and writing and creating, imagining things. But at some point, like I'll give you, it's easier for me to give you an example. I'm doing a film now, this is a war film. It is set in the 1970s. Now, if I want, I need Centurion tanks. I need Punjab landscapes. I need something else. Now, I'm not going to get all this in one place. So how do I do it? I've been battling with this myself. So when Chaitanya's session was going on, I was like, okay, I need to meet this guy properly and have a chat with him. So whereas the earlier films, they could actually, when you see, there's a great film I'll tell you about called Weekend at Dunkirk, not the Nolan film. There's a film called Weekend at Dunkirk. Try and sort of find it. And it's by a director, it's called Belmondo. And it's directed by a guy called Henry Winkler. Now that film, I would like to know how much of that is, because it all looks real. And of course it was made in the 60s, so it is possible that they really had all those the armament and the choppers and all that. But today you don't have it. And all of us, when we watch a trailer also, we know, oh, this is VFX. So we sort of, VFX is actually, for me, a lot of it is like, it just looks fake. Because we know it is VFX. So whatever you're doing, I know this is not real. Whereas when you see an earlier Bond film, you get the thrill of, oh my God, somebody was actually there, somebody was actually jumped over this and kind of thing. So, but I have to get used to VFX, and you try to make it such that you don't realize it's VFX. That is the hard thing.
I'm doing third year mass media. My question was that it's regarding your experience. How do you create a good team? Like, how do you recognize that this person, he can be a good DOP?
How do you be on a good team?
And a good team. How do you form a good film team?
Well, a lot of these, every film is depend on not just one person, it's a whole bunch of people. That's where you have to be, you have to really take your time, also be lucky and a whole lot of things. You look for the best people, of course, people who are also able to work with you. There are, all these things will happen sometimes, ego issues and all this will happen, but you have to find a way to deal with it. And often I feel that the director is the biggest actor of the set, because I don't know what, I will be hating you, but you will never know it.
I have one related question to this one. Your crew is fairly stable in the sense it's you work with the same people often, and some of your minor actors are also repeated, but you do not repeat your heroes at all. Never.
No, they're not heroes. None of my films have got heroes. If you look at it, they're all thugs mostly. Or people who are characters actually. They are not. You choose a person because he suits that character, or he seems to be an interesting sort of actor for that particular character. So there is no question of asking the person next time unless a similar character happens. I have worked with Saif Ali Khan in 2 movies.
Absolutely. I think your relationship with Saif Ali Khan is very interesting. I find him doing excellent work in your film. But Neil Nitin Mukesh was Was that his first film? Did he get the
Yeah,
idea
yeah.
from
That was his first film, but there I wanted somebody who, because I didn't want somebody who's got some.
नाम याद नहीं आ रहा.
Okay, this guy usually plays good guys. So this guy usually plays bad guys. So I wanted a new guy. So I mean, he was there and he met me and I said, why not? Kind of a thing. And then of course we worked with him for a couple of months and workshopped and all that.
He's a very innocent face, so I think it was amazing casting because you were really hoping that he would not do that. What he did. Yeah, so sorry for that.
Sir, what are the basic rules to be
Best director to learn.
Sorry sir, where are you?
Sir, I'm Simon Batula, I'm technician.
आपको मालूम है कि आप इस पेट में जो स्टोरी के हिसाब से कैरेक्टर चुनते हैं एक्टर एक्ट्रेस जो भी वॉट तो जो एक्शन से लेना काम लेना
नहीं, वो एक्चुअली सब कुछ शुरू होता है स्क्रिप्ट से और वहाँ से ना, और उसके बाद मतलब अच्छे डायरेक्टर्स भी कभी कभी ऐसे फिल्म बनाते हैं जो अच्छी नहीं है. वो क्यों होता है? क्योंकि मतलब nobody wants to by chance deliberately do something not good. So वो कभी कभी हो जाता है for whatever reasons. वो मतलब वही मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि name 5 filmmakers you love. I'm sure उनका भी कोई best work होगा, कोई not so good work होगा. I love Hitchcock. Hitchcock has also got some films which don't work as much, but even his films that don't work are very interesting compared to many others.
सर, आप अपने डीपी का चयन कैसे करते हैं? आपके लिए क्या इंपॉर्टेंट होता है एक डीपी में?
डीपी में?
यस.
नहीं, वही होता है कि मतलब नॉर्मली हम नरेट करते हैं ना, क्या होता है when you have a script then you say okay, I suppose I'm right now going to work with Anil Mehta, suppose. So I will talk to, since he's coming, I'm saying his name. So you narrate the script and see how he connects, कैसा connect होता है, कुछ connection आ रहा है क्या. Then वो discussion से ही मालूम पड़ता है कि is this person right, is he enjoying the film, does he have a thought about it, और वो क्या उसका, क्योंकि फिल्म कहानी क्या होता है अभी जब किताब में पढ़ते हैं ना, तो मैं जब पढ़ता हूँ एक सीन तो मैं कुछ सोच रहा हूँ, आप कुछ सोचेंगे, कोई और कुछ देखेगा, तो सब तीनों के मन में कुछ एक विजुअल होगा. तो ये जितना हम लोग मतलब आई वुड लव अ फ्रेश अप्रोच, आई वुड लाइक, सो इट्स अ कॉम्बिनेशन. मतलब बहुत चीजें देखते हैं हम लोग अदर देन टाइम एंड बजट एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ.
सर, एक और क्वेश्चन है इसी से रिलेटेड. आपके साथ कभी ऐसा कभी हुआ है क्या कि आपने किसी डीपी के साथ एक मीटिंग किया, आपने नरेट किया, उन्होंने अपना फीडबैक दिया एंड वो गए और आपका माइंड सडनली चेंज हो गया, ओके ये बंदा सेट नहीं हो सकता है, मैं कुछ और, बजट की बात मैं नहीं कर रहा हूँ, विजुअल्स की बात कर रहा हूँ, अकॉर्डिंग टू योर व्यू पॉइंट?
मेरे साथ ऐसा हुआ नहीं, लेकिन ये हो सकता है. मतलब ऐसा ये किसी और टेक्नीशियन के साथ हुआ होगा ऐसा कि मतलब कहानी सुनने के बाद एक्टर के साथ हुआ होगा. कभी कभी होता है कि एक एक्टर को मैंने कुछ रोल सुना है, उन्होंने ना बोलते बोलते कुछ अच्छी चीज बोलती जो मुझे हेल्प होगा फिल्म में, तो ऐसा भी होता है कभी कभी.
Hello sir, my name is Jenny and I'm from Delhi and studying at Rohtak State Film Institute. मैं आपसे राइटिंग से रिलेटेड एक क्वेश्चन, पर अभी के काफ़ी सारे राइटर्स हैं जो बहुत फ्रिक्वेंटली लिखते हैं फिल्म्स को और हर साल शूट करते हैं. तो अभी एक बॉयकॉट ट्रेंड चल रहा था, तो उसमें बॉयकॉट ही एक रीज़न था उन फिल्म्स के फ्लॉप होने का, या आपको लगता है कंटेंट कहीं ना कहीं था रीज़न?
मुझे लगता है हमेशा कंटेंट इज द मेन थिंग. अगर कंटेंट जबरदस्त नहीं है तो फिर मैंने एक फिल्म बनाई थी एजेंट विनोद, तो वो चली नहीं, लेकिन उसमें कभी कोई ऐसा बॉयकॉट कुछ था नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं था वो, लेकिन चली नहीं. क्यों नहीं चली? क्योंकि जब लोगों ने देखा होगा उनको उतना मज़ा नहीं आया जितना मतलब नॉर्मली दे वुड एक्सपेक्ट. तो वही फिल्म में मैं, क्योंकि अभी उस टाइम में मैं बहुत शॉक हो गया था, नहीं चली ये फिल्म. बाद में धीरे धीरे मालूम पड़ता है कि क्यों नहीं चल रही है, इसमें ये है. तो आपने देखी है वो फिल्म एजेंट विनोद?
यस यस.
हाँ, तो कुछ लोगों को अच्छा भी लगता है, उस फिल्म में काफ़ी कुछ अच्छा भी है, मैं ये नहीं बोलूँगा कि टोटल एनजी, बट उस टाइम में इट बिकेम अ वेरी एग्जॉस्टिंग फिल्म और बहुत कुछ कहना चाहते थे हम लोग. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है, कभी कभी बहुत कम बोलते हैं, इसलिए देयर आर डिफरेंट रीजंस व्हाई अ मूवी डजंट गो, बट आई डोंट नो वेदर बिकॉज ऑफ एनी बॉयकॉट.
Hi sir, this is Devendra. I just wanted to ask that when you come from a film school, how do you make the difference between the international cinema, because you get a lot of exposure to Tarkovsky, Godard and everything, and I've seen my friends and everybody inclining to the foreign cinema, the world cinema, and then criticizing the industry in which we have to stay, and you don't have the balance. You start getting that, criticizing the world in which you are going to stay. So how do you balance this and got to a stage right now? because I could relate to the mud thing that you said. Because once, in a session when somebody had asked which director you like, I said David Dhawan, and everybody started popping their eyes. So the same thing had happened with me also. So how do you balance and how did you got with people and gel with people? Because your work with FTI is everybody.
See, in the FTI or even now, everybody can see there's a whole lot of world cinema available for everybody everywhere. उस time में तो it was very in the institute मिलता था, कभी film society में मिलता था. So I think I mean if you are a film lover and you enjoy films, then you will. I mean, for me, what happened now, because I've grown up on Shakti Samanta and Vijay Anand and all that, So finally, I know I'm making a film for an Indian audience. Like many times, my films, like Andhadhun, for example, all the references to Anil Dhawan and those songs and all, only an Indian audience, especially an audience which has sort of seen those films, or at least knows about Chitrahar and all that, they will be able to get. A foreigner may not get it. So it is not designed for any, okay, I'm trying to appeal to X or Y. No, you're trying to appeal to as many people as you can. And Andhadhun, when it did well in China, I was quite surprised myself. Kyun chali ho? Lekin chali.
Worried by foreign cinema because the exposure has to be there. But the people tend to, when they pass out with these 3 years, tend to get more of a foreign person than an Indian.
Yeah, but that may be certain people, it depends on the individual kind of a thing, But I feel the entry of, jab jaisa abhi, in the south, when there was a sort of a fresh wave of, new filmmakers all came, they all, where did they get their, their whole education from those, those DVDs, jo pirated DVDs aate the, 40 rupees each, and we used to all buy those things. So all those films, the more you watch, the more your mind will be open, nothing else. So with your open mind, you can do so much more.
Right. Thank you.
Hello sir, one more question about Andhadhun is, how did you work with Ayushmann? As in like you let him improv all the scenes, like where he was acting blind, you let him improv or you instructed him on how to do it or where to do it?
See, with a good actor, you let them do maximum on their own, and then unless it's something not working, you don't sort of detail, you don't over direct anybody. You should not over direct even a new actor, but so you just let him do his thing. And some actors can improvise and they improvise. Like Nawaz is an improviser. Ayushmann also can improvise. Some people can't improvise, So unko, you have to give them the real, okay, say it like this, say it like that, whatever. But then try and be. They are good actors, but they don't want to improvise. So it's a matter of different people.
Thank you, sir.
So we've run out of time now completely. I began by saying how many of you do not know Sriram Raghavan, and most people said they do. So we should ask you the same question again. How many of you do not know Sriram Raghavan? Nobody is raising their hands, then this session was useful. I also want to thank Sriram for coming and doing this in the middle of his production. He's really neck deep into Merry Christmas right now. He was editing last evening till very long. So thank you very much for taking time off and for being with us.
Thank you for inviting me, and I got a chance to come to this whole show, this map. So thank you all. Good fun. All the best.
Thank you, Mr. Sriram. Thank you, Mr. Pankaj. That was a fascinating session. I would now request both of you to come.